Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I decided to do an updated video of my watercolor collection. It's been several years since I've done that, and I've changed what I use and what I still have. And it's one of my most watched videos. So I thought it might be interesting to see what's the latest watercolors that I have. So starting with one of my oldest sets are these Art Philosophy Primo watercolor confections. I bought these probably 6-7 years ago when they first came out. I bought every single set of them and used them for a little bit, and they're nice watercolors. It's just I got into other brands that I like better. But these are the ones that I kept. I got rid of some of the other ones like the tropical, the basic colors, things like that. But I kept the complexion one because I do sometimes draw people and I wanted to have a set that had those colors readily available. I kept the currants because it's blues and greens that I really like for my my beachy ocean type art that I do. And then the Essence and Woodlands, I don't know why I kept them. I don't think I'll use them. I may end up selling them. But those are some of the first ones that I ever bought and used when I first started out watercoloring. Then this was probably another one of the first sets that I bought. It came highly recommended. The Koi watercolor set. And this was the introductory set that came with 24 colors. These little sponges that you can wipe the brush off with, and it came with a water brush, which I've since lost. And it has these palettes here that you can use for, well, that's not going anywhere, that you can use for mixing colors and stuff. I don't use this anymore. This was a very basic set that I started out with. It's nice for starting out, but it's not something that I like a lot more variety in my colors, so I needed more. So not too long ago, I bought this set because I did want more colors, and I also wanted something that I could take with me when I travel. When I show you my main watercolor set that I use all the time, you'll see why I needed something about this size. This is 72 colors. The same, oh, it's got a lock on the sides. The same type setup. You've got some mixing palettes here that you can use. And if I can get it out, there we go. So it's got lots of mixing space for you to use, and plenty of colors, which I really like. And as you can see, I haven't even opened these watercolor brushes because I prefer to use standard watercolor brushes instead of the water brushes like these. I took these with me when I went to Chicago last summer for 3 weeks and used them, and I didn't really like them that much. I'm a little spoiled. Use a pricier brand of watercolors and I'm used to them, and I just wasn't impressed with this brand. So I'm actually probably going to get rid of these. I don't think I'm going to keep them around, even for when I travel. I have other options for when I travel. Another brand that I really like that I got when I started out was this Gansai Tambi set. These are really nice watercolors, very pretty colors, very creamy, smooth. I like these a lot. Used them when I started out, and they were highly recommended by some different watercolor artists, and they still are highly recommended. It's just, they're old. I haven't used them in a while, and they're just not my favorites, but they have some very beautiful colors. This is pretty. I love this color. These pinks and reds are very pretty. And then I also got one year for Christmas, I got this add-on set. You can see I've never even used these. Haven't even swatched them out, but this is like to supplement the colors that are in here. Very nice set. A lot of people use these. Let's see. Another set that I like to use is the Derwent Inktense paints. I just used these the other day in some art that I did. Very bright colors. If you're not familiar with Inktense, It's actually ink, and so it dries permanent. You can't move it around like you can with some regular watercolor, but very vivid colors, very nice. I don't reach for these as often as I'd like to because I forget that I have them, but I do love the colors that are in here. And I'm trying to rotate through my watercolor sets and use the different ones. I do art every day and I do watercolor every day, so I'm trying to use them a little bit more often, but it's a nice little set. And then there's some other ones that are specific to specific effects that you might be looking to get. This is the shade and tone mixed media set. So if you're looking for shading things or adding a little bit of a darker tint to something that you're working on, you might use these. I haven't used these much other than to swatch them, but I had to have them because I have to have everything, so I did buy these. And then this set here is the Graphitint. I have the pencils, the Graphitint pencils, and this is the paint pocket set, and these just have graphite in them. Very pretty colors, a nice effect if you're looking for something along these lines. It might be something that you'd be interested in acquiring. Just really neat. I've used them on this lobster that I did. I used them on here, a little bit dark, but I thought they were pretty cool. So that's the Derwent that I have. Another brand that I bought, this was for a class I was taking. These are the Mission Gold watercolors. These are really nice. This was a color theory class that I was taking, and so I went ahead and I bought these. Set of 36, a nice range of colors, very bright, vivid colors if you want them. So I used these for that class that I was taking. Another set that I don't reach for as often, but no reason not to use them. It's a nice brand. Magello, that's the name of the brand, the Mission Gold Magello. So I would recommend these if you were looking for a nice, not too expensive set to get. And I'll provide links for all these down below on the description of the video, so you can see where to get them. This was a set I got for Christmas, Sennelier. A friend of mine recommended these. It's a nice set. It was a set of 12 plus 6. Interesting range of colors. You know, you've got the basics, the yellow, red, blue, and then these 6 extras that came with it. Another set that I don't use as much as I should, but like I said, I'm trying to rotate through my different sets of watercolors, so we'll see if I get around to using them more. I wish they had a little more pinks, and there's one purple there. I tend to gravitate towards the tropical colors and things like that, so I would, if I was going to use these, I'd probably augment this set with some additional purchases to go with it. But they're nice watercolors. I like this brand. Okay, and another set that I have, let me see if I can do this without dropping these, is the Schmincke watercolors. I really like these, and in fact, I just ordered some more from Dick Blick to go with this set. This is the set of 24. And you can see they've been used a little bit. I really like these, and they're pretty pricey, but they're well worth the money. Very vivid colors, just beautiful. They mix nice. I can't say enough good things about them. I really enjoy using them. Another one that I put into my daily rotation that I'm hoping to use a lot. I will link these below as well. But to supplement these, I have also bought, oh, and I didn't bring those over, but the super granulating watercolors, I have bought all the sets of them, and these are just the half pans that I have the tubes of. But this is the Deep Sea and the Glacier set. I also have Haze, Tundra, Volcano. There's a couple other sets, but I have all of them. I forgot to grab them so that I could show you them. But these granulate, and they're really cool. They provide a really cool effect if you want to use those. And I believe I used those in here on my shark. I used some of these on the shark, the granulating watercolors in there. Another set that I just got yesterday is the special edition Seaside set from Schmincke. And it's all blues, all shades of blue except for this one white. And I just love using blue. It's probably the color that I use the most because I do so much ocean type, water type watercolor paintings. So I'll be using this set a lot. I really like that I have all these different blues available to me in one set. So I'm real happy with this set. And I believe I got this from Jackson's Art Supply. I couldn't find it on Amazon. Another nice set that I have is the Core, Q-O-R watercolors. These I started out with fairly early. I used these a lot for a while, and then I kind of fell out of favor with them and just recently revisited them, and not really sure why I stopped using them. They're really nice. I like the selection of colors. These were all, this was a set that I put together with individual tubes of watercolor. And I'm putting these into my rotation as well. These have a special binder that is only used by the Core company to bind the watercolor and the formulation of when they make it. I personally can't tell a difference between the way that the Core watercolors work and other brands of watercolors, but I'm not really an expert on using watercolors, so I wouldn't notice something like that. But they are really nice, and I do like how they work. Another one of my favorite sets is the Holbein watercolors, and these I bought the whole 108 set in tubes a couple years ago and put them in these palettes, and I just love this set. Just love the selection of colors. I love how they go on. I love how they mix. I love everything about them. I use these probably second most out of all the watercolors that I have, and I have no complaints about this set. Again, these are the Holbein watercolors. I don't think this set is available anymore. They have smaller sets that you can get, but the 108 set, I don't know that it's available anymore. And now, for the set that I use the most, you guys are going to freak. This is my Mumbo Jumbo palette. I bought this about a year or two ago. It holds over 200 watercolors. Let's see if I can get that all in the picture. Yeah. So these are mostly Daniel Smith colors, with a lot of these are handmade watercolors that I've gotten off Etsy. But for the most part, they're almost all Daniel Smith. And Daniel Smith is my favorite watercolor. You can see a lot of them are very well loved and used. This is my everyday go-to palette that I use. This is the swatch sheet that goes with it. I refer to it, as I'm using them. Again, I have a nice selection of blues, a nice selection of greens, reds. I had a hard time finding the red, my favorite red. And so I bought a lot of different samples, and I ended up with this Pyrrole Red is my favorite out of all of them, all of the Daniel Smith reds. Nice selection of browns and teal and things like that. I'm really happy with this set, and it's been a long time since I bought any colors to add to it because I'm pretty happy with what it is. So that's pretty much what I have. Just to give you a real quick idea what I use for travel, I've got these these little art toolkit palettes that I can use if I travel, and these are all filled with Daniel Smith. These are the size of a credit card. You can see how small that is. And you can get them in all kinds of different configurations. You can get these little larger pans, or you can get the smaller pans. And then I will show you the other one that I use the most. Sorry, I didn't have it ready to go. I completely forgot about it for a second. This holds 12 and this holds 24. And then this one here, if you buy it with the small pans, it'll hold 60 colors, which is, that's me because I can't ever decide what color I want to use. So I bought the one that holds 60, or you can get the bigger pans and it'll hold 30, or you can get a different configuration of whatever number of each color that, or each size that you want. So these are by Art Toolkit, and I took this with me recently on a retreat and used it the whole weekend and didn't have any issues with it, and it was perfect. It's the perfect size to travel with. You know, you use your brush and you can get in there and you don't necessarily splash and get on the color next to it or anything. It's a great little set to have, or palette to have. So I would highly recommend that if you're looking for options for when you travel. That's pretty much all that I've got. I showed you my daily go-to watercolors and the ones that I don't use and the ones that I recommend but I need to use. So if you have any questions, drop me a line. Be sure to like this video and please subscribe if you're interested in seeing more videos from me. I think the next thing I'm going to do is a flip through of my daily journal and show some of those pages in there. But other than that, that's about all I have for today. So it was nice seeing you again, and have a good day.